Let's be real, modern dating has become a minefield, and men are quietly opting out in droves. No dramatic breakups, no final texts, just a slow, steady disappearance. But why? Is it fear, weakness, or could it be something far deeper, something rooted in male dating psychology that most people don't even dare to talk about? The truth is counterintuitive. Men aren't avoiding relationships because they don't want love. They're walking away because they've done the math. For many, dating today feels like all risk, zero reward. The social dynamics have shifted, the rules have changed, and yet the expectations on men still sky high. They're navigating dating after Me Too, tiptoeing around approach anxiety, fearing dating rejection trauma, and watching the dating market collapse, all while being told they should man up and try harder. Seriously? This isn't about bitterness or blame. It's about understanding the deep psychology of why men stay single today. We're peeling back the curtain on dating fatigue psychology, exploring the real reasons behind men choosing solitude, and diving into the hidden costs of vulnerability in a world that often punishes it. If you've ever felt confused, frustrated, or just plain done with dating, this one's for you. Stick around, because what you're about to hear might just reframe everything you thought you knew about modern dating and male mental health. The shift in the dating marketplace and male disillusionment. Modern dating isn't what it used to be, and men are noticing. The old script of be a good guy, get a good woman just doesn't seem to work anymore. The dating market collapse isn't just some internet buzzword. It's a reflection of how expectations, technology, and social norms have collided. Think about it. Men swipe endlessly on apps, get zero matches, and when they do, conversations often die within hours. This cycle of effort with no reward breeds quiet resentment, and eventually, disinterest. Many men are stepping back not because they hate women, but because they no longer see the point. They've poured time, money, and emotional energy into a game that feels rigged. For example, some guys spend months at the gym, upgrade their wardrobe, even read books on relationship psychology men, only to face ghosting and shallow interactions. This isn't laziness, it's burnout. And beneath that burnout is a deeper issue. Male dating psychology grappling with dating rejection trauma and chronic approach anxiety in a hypercritical environment. Now here's where it gets really interesting. What if this mass retreat isn't about weakness, but wisdom? What if men are recognizing that their self-worth can't hinge on swipes, likes, or lukewarm first dates? This isn't just men opting out of dating. It's a psychological defense mechanism, a quiet revolution. And it's leading to something even more powerful. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. The weight of rejection and the rise of dating fatigue. Rejection used to be a lesson. Now it feels like a lifestyle. For many men, the fear of being dismissed, mocked, or labeled creeps in before they even say hi. This isn't just approach anxiety, it's the psychological toll of constant micro-rejections in a dating culture that often rewards only the top percentile. When rejection becomes routine, it rewires a man's confidence, making him hesitant, withdrawn, even cynical. It's no surprise then that so many are quietly slipping into dating burnout. Picture this. A man hypes himself up to talk to someone at a bar. He plans his words, breathes deep, takes that step, and is shut down instantly with a scoff or a look of disinterest. Multiply that experience by dozens, maybe hundreds. Over time, the brain begins to associate dating not with potential connection, but with pain. That's dating rejection trauma in action, one of the lesser-known forces behind why so many men are avoiding women today. It's not bitterness, it's protection. And this fatigue doesn't stop at rejections. It stretches into ghosting, breadcrumbing, being someone's backup plan, emotional roller coasters that leave men feeling drained and disposable. The more they experience this, the more they begin to see solitude not as loneliness, but as peace. This shift in mindset is subtle, but powerful. It leads to a radical question. What if choosing solitude is actually healthier than chasing connection in a system designed to chew you up? Well, here's where it gets deeper. The Me Too era and the paralysis of male vulnerability. Since the rise of the Me Too movement, the social climate around dating has changed, and for good reason. Boundaries, respect, and consent are being emphasized like never before. But amid this cultural correction, a new issue has emerged. Many men are now terrified of making a move at all, not because they don't respect women, but because they fear being misinterpreted, mislabeled, or publicly shamed. This fear, subtle but real, feeds into the psychology of men giving up on women altogether. Imagine trying to initiate a conversation at work or at a social event, only to wonder if your interest could be seen as harassment. For some men, this fear morphs into paralysis. They'd rather not take the risk at all. What we're seeing isn't just hesitation, it's the psychological impact of navigating romantic interest under a magnifying glass. Many are retreating not out of guilt, but out of confusion. This shift is a massive piece of modern dating psychology that often goes unspoken. So what happens when men no longer feel safe to express interest, initiate a date, or even flirt naturally? They retreat into emotional silence. Vulnerability becomes a risk, not a virtue. And without vulnerability, real connection can't even begin. This is how men walking away from relationships becomes the quiet epidemic no one wants to talk about. But underneath that silence, there's something else bubbling up, something more primal, more personal, and far more psychological. The silent toll on men's mental health and identity. When men walk away from dating, they don't just walk away from relationships, they walk away from a part of their identity. Society has long tied a man's worth to his ability to attract, provide for, and maintain a romantic partner. So when he steps back, either by choice or by exhaustion, a quiet crisis unfolds. It's not just dating fatigue psychology, it's an existential identity shift. And no one really talks about the male mental health dating spiral that follows. He starts asking himself questions. Am I not good enough? What's wrong with me? Why does this feel so one-sided? It's here that psychology of male loneliness digs in deep. The world sees a man who's withdrawn, maybe even cold, but inside, he's battling an invisible war. No therapy sessions, no deep talks with friends, just late-night thoughts and bottled-up frustration. This is how men choosing solitude becomes a survival tactic, not a failure, because peace is better than panic. Here's the twist. This solitude, over time, can become power. Some men begin to focus inward, sharpening their skills, starting businesses, improving their health, or building communities where they feel seen and valued. They shift from external validation to internal stability. But even then, something still lingers beneath the surface, a quiet longing, a missing puzzle piece. That leads us into the most misunderstood part of all. What happens when the heart still craves connection, but no longer trusts the system? When solitude becomes strength, but at what cost? Many men who've walked away from dating aren't sitting around sulking. They're building. They've turned their focus inward, cultivating skills, exploring passions, and finally breathing without the pressure of constant rejection. For some, it's freedom. They discover joy in their own company, a sense of control, even purpose. It's the other side of the coin no one talks about. Men opting out of dating not in defeat, but in strategic retreat. And in some cases, it works exceptionally well. But here's the paradox. While solitude offers clarity, it doesn't erase the innate human need for connection. Eventually, even the strongest fortress can start to feel like a prison. Some men admit to feeling a dull ache they can't quite name, something deeper than loneliness. It's the cost of giving up on something they once longed for. They've learned to live without dating, but not without feeling. This emotional contradiction is a cornerstone of the relationship psychology men rarely express aloud. And now we're at a crossroads. Men have built lives where they feel safe, calm, even proud. But many still wonder, what now? Should they risk it all again? Try to re-enter a system that once wounded them? Or stay in their own lane, alone but whole? These aren't questions with easy answers, but they're the right ones to ask, and what happens next depends on how deeply we're willing to look beneath the surface. So, what do we do with all this? If you're a man who's felt unseen, unheard, or just plain exhausted by the dating world, you're not broken. You're not weak. You're responding logically to a system that's shifted beneath your feet. And now you've seen the psychology behind it all. Why men stay single today, why they're walking away from relationships, and why, for many, solitude feels safer than dating. But here's the real question. Does walking away mean you've given up, or that you've woken up? Are you choosing solitude out of peace, or out of fear? Are you building a life by design, or simply surviving one by default? These aren't rhetorical questions. They're calls to action. Because once you understand the modern dating issues men face, you can decide, really decide, what role relationships will play in your life and on your terms. If this resonated with you, don't let it end here. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, join a conversation that too many men are having silently. This channel exists to explore the deeper truths no one else will say out loud, because you deserve more than quick advice and tired cliches. You deserve a new kind of clarity, and maybe, just maybe, a new beginning.